I'm Mylan Gray. I'm a second year at Stanford studying African and African American Studies, and I am currently working on combining some sounds from the Pinkster Festival and the Kangada Festival and different clips and sounds that talk about syncretismo. Yeah. So I haven't added the passages that I want to say in Portuguese and the passages I want to say in English, but that will come right after the ending part, please.
Às vezes a pessoa fala, esse sofrimento não tem fim, aí chega a morte. Falou, vou botar fim nesse sofrimento.
É o que eu estou passando.
Botar fim nesse sofrimento. Esse sofrimento, aí a morte.
Chega um ponto que a
pessoa,
gente quer a morte.
Pelo amor, eu estou gravando, não é você que está gravando, não, tá certo?
Our illiterate, to feed our starving, to clothe our ragged, to do all good things, knowing that we are more than keepers of our brothers and sisters. We are our brothers and sisters. In honor of those who toiled and implored God with golden tongues, and in gratitude to the same God who brought us out of hopeless desolation, we make this pledge.
Mas hoje, Deus também expulsou Satanás da nossa vida, expulsou a escravidão, nós estamos unidos, preto e o branco, um só corpo, alma e coração.
Allow me to welcome you to Pinkster, a yearly celebration of the Spirit. I see many faces I know, and many I do not.
Pinkster is Pentecost, which has its religious roots, but also some secular roots. And I think one of the things that was special and unique about it was that both the Dutch and the African American slaves that lived on this farm participated and celebrated together.
Like the vast majority of Africans who were brought to the Americas as slaves in the early 17th century, the charter generation in New Netherland predominantly consisted of West Central Africans. Their Lusitanian baptismal names such as Manuel, Antonio, Sebastião, Isabel, Madalena, and Maria indicate that virtually all of them had gone, with varying degrees of exposure, through a process of Iberian acculturation before they had been shipped to America. This was not a unique phenomenon. Our understanding of the black community in New Netherland, also known as New York, becomes much clearer when considered against the background of what was happening elsewhere in the Dutch overseas empire. A comparative analysis with the slave population in Dutch Brazil from 1630 to 1654 reveals that the charter generation in New Netherland formed a largely homogeneous group with well-established and mutually shared Afro-Iberian traditions. As scholars have convincingly demonstrated, charter generations often managed to set a cultural pattern that was emulated by slaves who arrived in later decades. My research on Pinkster has made me conclude that such a pattern must have also existed in the case of New York and New Jersey.